So I write video essays, and I think some of the video essays I have made are good, but occasionally I see a video essay that is just so good that it makes it clear, like, oh God, I wonder if I will ever be able to make something that good. Because earlier today I watched a Big Joel video essay called "The Fear of Death," and it is quite possibly the greatest video essay I have ever seen. It was a masterpiece of an essay. I have nothing but praise for it. I recommend watching it just immediately. And there are just so many good video essays out there. We are in a bit of a golden age on YouTube of video essays, and I am a tiny, tiny fish in that pond, just the tiniest of fish, hoping to one day be as good as the greats. Because that Big Joel video essay was just amazing. Like, can I just list off like the greatest video essays that I've ever seen? Um, let's see. The Everest Discrepancy by Amp Lemon. That is an incredible Where anything but by Amp Lemon is excellent. He has made like 5 videos total. I mean, he's probably made other videos in the past and then deleted them. But the Everest Discrepancy stands out as just amazing. It's just great. Pretty much anything by Jacob Geller. He is an incredible video essayist. Who's Afraid of Modern Art jumps to my mind as one of his better ones. Dan Olson, his channel is called Folding Ideas, is excellent. There's these, like, he does these deep dives on sort of internet subcultures that are kind of cult-like. And I think my favorite of those is sort of his first little foray into this. It's a little prequel for the other ones. It was In Search of a Flat Earth, and that taught me a technique that I've used in a few of my video essays that I try and get across, is ending on a really strong line, like sort of a punchline but non-comedic. Because you should just go watch In Search of a Flat Earth. It's a masterpiece, but I love just how it ends with the irony of the title. So the video is about conspiracy theories, and the first half is about flat earthers, and the second half is about QAnon. And what Dan Olson gets across very succinctly is that conspiracy theories, they exist, they propagate because the world is scary and dangerous and complicated, and people don't like that. So they cling to the world being simple. Like, actually, the world isn't complicated. There aren't a bunch of different actors who have different beliefs and motives, and like the intersection of those is what determines how the world functions. Actually, there's this evil cabal that's responsible for everything, and the world will be nice and fine if we just round them up and shoot all of them in the head. And we need to find a strongman dictator to do that. Like, conspiracy theorists aren't great, but what Dan Olson gets across really well in that video is that conspiracy theorists are trying to make the world simpler, and he just ends the video with this wonderful, amazing line. It's one of the best lines in any video I've ever seen. They're in search of a flat Earth. Like, that's what flat earthers and QAnon are after. They don't they don't it's not about the shape of the earth. It's about the world being simple, and the way it is simple is that there's this evil cabal that we just got to kill, and if we murder all of them, everything's going to be okay. Yeah. Anything by Philosophy Tube is amazing. I cannot pick out the best thing by Abigail Thorne. She is just incredible. Uh, I don't know what is the best video essay I've made. Um, I think my favorite thing that I've made as a video essay is still what was the order of the title? Ozymandias, Windwell Rove, and the Martian Odyssey. It's a really good video essay. I think no, stop jerking myself off. Anyway, this is Nuzlocke Vlogs. I've just been ranting about video essays, but what I do on this show is I respond to comments on my YouTube videos, or I guess in this case, community posts. I named my Pokemon after that. That Ekans I caught earlier, named after Gabriel Quizu. That name seems familiar. I may have in Platinum named a Pokemon after them because they appear to be one of my subscribers. Um, this is me announcing that I'm making this video on the Homestuck epilogues, which I may have already announced it multiple times in the past, and it's been on the sidebar over there for months. But yeah, I've started writing my next Homestuck video essay, and Gabriel says, I wish I could get some ironic or even legit enjoyment out of the epilogues, but IDK. I found myself mostly bored or insulted by them while reading. This will be a fun ride. That's weird capitalization. On a side note, have you read the fan adventure Mr. Tambourine Man? It's about John not being able to enter the new universe due to his Retcon powers. Have not read that. That sounds like a really cool concept. I don't read a lot of like fan Homestuck projects, but that's such an interesting concept. Like John specifically not getting to be free at the end because he's the one who saved everyone. That's a really interesting concept. Yeah, I do. I think John. I think I'll get into this in the epilogues video. I am an epilogues defender, and I think the epilogues does interesting things with John. Still a very, very flawed story with a lot of problems, but they're flawed in an interesting way that I hope that I'll be able to get across in April's video essay. Um, Also, I made that post because I came up with my titles of the different sections of the video essay, and I thought I was I'm over leveled, so clever with my sections. I'm gonna call them Harry Potter and the Shitty Fanfic, Rocks Fall, Everyone Dies, Candyland, Orange Man Bad, the existential horror video game protagonist. Might have to change that one. Yeah, I'll have a Slowpoke tale. Like that's 10,000 fucking dollars. Or yeah, that's $10,000 for a Slowpoke tale. That was ridiculous. And what's after? Oh, and the Prince, which is about Dirk, but it's also a Machiavelli reference. See, I got my titles. I just gotta write this video essay. What I've been writing mostly recently has been another chapter of my on again, off again JoJo's Bizarre Adventure fanfiction, Twisted Destiny, which I want to eventually get it done. It's just not anything that I can dedicate more than like 2 weeks every couple months to when when I'm in between projects, which is what I am right now. I mean, I never finished the last day of summer because that just gave me the worst writer's block of my life. But I will get. I'm gonna get this fanfic chapter done, and I don't. I was saying down yesterday, and like kind of worried. Like actually, I calculated like at the rate I'm writing this, I'll be like 30 by the time I am done with this JoJo fanfic, and I can't do that. I need to get it done, but I don't want to just spend 6 months writing a fucking fanfic. Like, alright, I have to get a Pokemon from the box to break that. Hold on. I don't know. But no, writing on it has been going good. I've been getting good amounts of word count per night, which is good, because after going just terrible writer's block for a while, to finally be able to get substantial amounts of work on a page is nice. It's nice, even if it's just a silly fanfic and I don't have it done, even though I set the deadline for it tomorrow, but I'll get it done, probably. And then after that, I need to, I mean, I've written it out and I've made the maps, but I need to actually do the scripting for the first part of the Day of Apotheosis, which is my game epilogue, and ZMAX, who, have I named a Pokemon after ZMAX before? I'm almost positive I've named a Pokemon after ZMAX before. Hold on, what they said is the Homestuck Epilogues are bad in such unique and interesting ways. I want everyone to read them to get a possible perspective to tear into them. Yeah, I agree with that. I think I'm gonna go to a different comment. Oh, my Alice is Dead video. Just ordered the game. I'm gonna wait till I play it to finish the video. Thanks. I have made an impact. I have made someone's life better. I have introduced them to a masterpiece of a game. XP1446. You get to be named after this Pokemon I'm not gonna use because I have made your life better. I've introduced you to Alice's. Oh, random Professor Elm's calling. Hold on. Clicked away from it. Do I have to click on it? How do you know? How do you know that it hatched from the egg? Are you fucking stalking me, Professor Elm? I don't know. My most recent video was just a short thing where I'm talking about Alice is Missing, which is just an incredible indie RPG that I talked about in that video. Alice is Missing is a masterpiece. It's one of the best experience I've ever had with a tabletop game. I highly recommend you go play it. In that video, I talk about the mechanics and my experience playing it. It's just an amazing game you should check out. I'm gonna have a lot of Pokemon this episode because all my eggs are hatching because I ran around in circles. Yeah, I ran around in circles because I value my time. I'm gonna return all these Pokemon to the Pokemon box. And I also got the backgrounds. Like, these are the Primo eggs, which I count eggs as gift Pokemon. You're allowed to get those eggs. And I mean, it's a Slugma, Mareep, and Wooper. It's not exactly like high tier Pokemon. Well, actually, Ampharos and Quagsire are solid. I've already got Mareep at. Wait a minute, this isn't even a new encounter. It doesn't matter. Like, I'm. It's not a big deal to have a Slugma because I'm not using a Slugma, okay? And yes, I did already have a Z-Max. It's right in front of me for the whole video. I don't pay attention to these Pokemon. Okay, well, I've named them. I want to train the Ghastly, but it's annoying when it's paralyzed. When does Ghastly... I don't think Ghastly learns any good moves for a while is the problem. And I never use Ghastly. I don't know when it evolves into Haunter. What have I been watching? I watched Strangers on a Train, and that movie didn't do it for me. That I kind of thought it was dull, which is my hot take. Like, I can impress that its cinematography was really good for the time, and it's a cool concept, and there's some decent acting, but I just thought it dragged on and was very meandering all the time and a bit dull. Is my hot take about the movie Strangers on a Train. Finally, someone has the courage to say that Alfred Hitchcock was kind of just okay. Like, you know, it's nice that I'm out there giving unique critiques that no one has made before. Whatever. I need other things to talk about. I don't know. I've been very busy with work lately because I don't think I've gone fully into this in this channel. So basically, a coworker of mine got fired for downsizing, and I had to take over all of her duties at the newspaper where I work. And her duties are a lot of things that just aren't writing, like getting the court record of all the lawsuits going on and small claims and traffic court and retyping that in a legible newspaper format and getting the menus for the various schools and retyping in a legible newspaper format and handling all the cash sheet and the money from the customers renewing their subscription and them calling you angry because they weren't sent a notice that their subscription expired because someone in billing fucked up last month. And that's not on me, but I'm still the one who has to deal with 5 calls a day because people aren't getting their papers this week because their subscription expired and they weren't notified. And it's just, I'm working long days and it's kind of dull. And why am I going back to the box? I don't need anything in the box. And I just, I'm not enjoying it that much. It's also been a slow news week, which is fun. Like the top news story is a Dollar Tree opened in town. Who gives a shit? That is barely news. Oh well, as I've said before, I write a column. Uh, I also write a column at the newspaper where I talk about history. And it's fun when you're like researching a history topic and you're like, oh yeah, yep, history sure does rhyme. Yep, yeah, I can relate to this story I'm reading. Because what I did this week is I wrote about Thomas Midgley Jr., who, if you don't know who that guy is, he is one of the deadliest people who have ever lived, kinda. I, I have some asterisks on that. But yeah, Thomas Midgley, he killed estimates of upwards of 100 million people. Never heard about him? Well, he's the guy who invented leaded gasoline. He poisoned an entire generation of children. He filled the skies with lead. He destroyed the minds of children, like literally flooded them with neurotoxins, especially in dense urban centers, like 5 times the rate of lead poisoning, which is fun that that's what's happening to poor and disproportionately African American children. Yay, America. Like, just horrible, horrible effects. And also, kind of arguably, caused. Like, this is a thing that is ultimately unknowable, and it's probably caused by a lot of different factors. But there's good evidence that Thomas Midgley creating leaded gasoline caused the crime rates of the 80s. Yay! He made a bunch of murders happen because he poisoned millions of children. One of the deadliest people. And immediately after that, like, I don't think this guy invented leaded gasoline. That would be bad. Would be enough for me to find him interesting enough to write a column on. Now, the reason why I find him interesting enough to write a column on is because he did it again. He did it a second fucking time. After he invented leaded gasoline, he invented Freon. He invented like CFCs and burned a hole in the ozone layer and killed millions more. And he ultimately died by his own hand by accident. He strangled himself in one of his inventions by accident. Ah, I'm gonna call this Onyx Cyberpunk, who says, "Very interesting, well spoken. Sounds like an amazing game. My only point of contention is that first fires, I assume you mean forest fires, don't tend to spread well or start in winter with deep snow." That's a fair point. That is, you know, don't don't think about the exact mechanics of our improv role playing game very well because forest fires probably don't start very well when it is snowing and a blizzard so intense that the door on the lighthouse freezes shut. But you know, I would prefer to get Geodude over an Onyx. Onyx is just really, really terrible in this game and every game. Onyx is bad. It's okay in a Little Cup. I've used it in a Little Cup before, but that's underwhelming because it was a fully evolved Pokemon when it was involved. At least Steelix has been off again, on again, decent over the years. But anyway, the thing about Thomas fucking Midgley is like you see parallels with history when you research it, and it's always like, oh god, we're just doing this shit again. Like you're reading like, oh, he invented leaded gasoline, and people complained, hey, this could cause major health problems. So let's see. Lead companies threaten them with lawsuits. They threaten to sue scientists to shut them up when they pointed out that poisoning the world with lead was bad because, that hurt their profits. I wonder if something like that will ever happen again. And when it's discovered, leaded gasoline, super, super dangerous. Well, gasoline companies say that switching over, that would devastate the economy, so we can't do it. We just gotta keep poisoning those kids for the economy. Like, it would collapse if we stopped letting our gasoline. And it turns out, it didn't, even slightly, like changing over to non-leaded gasoline, switching to well, ethanol fucking sucks. But yeah, that didn't fix anything. Or the fact that actually ethanol is better than leaded gasoline. I don't like ethanol. Ethanol is better than leaded gasoline. But they discovered ethanol first. But oh well, ethanol can't be patented. It undermines the profits of General Motors. So we're gonna poison millions of kids and kill them instead because that's their profit. I hope nothing like that ever happens. Like, ooh, DuPont Chemical, when the hole in the ozone is discovered, says, "What? No, this is science fiction. It's just a bunch of rubbish." Tries to discredit the scientists who are saving the fucking world. Wow. Wonder if something like that will ever happen again. I'm ranting about climate change. This shit is happening. It happens again and again and again. One of my core beliefs I talked about a lot, actually about this time last year, in that video on Facebook, and how they invented a paperclip maximizer and committed genocide. How I don't trust capitalist companies to exist because the core tenet of capitalism that businesses should do whatever maximizes profits, morality be damned. A lot of time, what maximizes profit is murdering me and my family. So I don't want people following that ideology and doing it. Like for instance, in the I think was it the 40s or the 50s? Doesn't matter. In the 1950s, executives from cigarette companies sat down together in a hotel room to discuss the fact that the public now knew that cigarettes were killing them. And what do you do in that situation? Hi, Joey. Thanks for calling. Is they made a deal that they would stop competing, would stop saying, "Oh, we're the healthier one." They wouldn't mention that at all. They would band together and all create propaganda and lies and bullshit about how cigarettes weren't actually unhealthy. They would bribe doctors to publish fake studies about how cigarettes were fine, and people were all upset about nothing. Like, they, every single one of them, without question, decided when given the choice between killing millions and making a little bit more money, to kill millions. And that's what lead companies did when leaded gasoline was proven to be poisoning our children. That's what oil companies are doing now as wildfires blaze and hurricanes consume towns and sea levels rise. They are given the choice between the continued existence of mankind and then making a little bit more money, and every single one of them, without objection, decides to kill millions. And I genuinely do not think capitalism can exist as an ideology if that is what it forces people to do. Because, like, if if an oil company is like, if an oil company dissented, if they decided to stop burning the fucking planet to ashes, you know what would happen? Ooh, they'd lose stock price and they'd lose money and they wouldn't be in business anymore, and that's a shame. And Route 33. I can catch a hoppip here, but I don't really want a hoppip. And I can also catch a Spearow here. I checked it in advance. Um, but the thing about Spearow is you can get a gift Spearow in Goldenrod, and I kind of want that because gift Pokemon gain experience faster, and Spear's a really solid Pokemon. It's named Kenya, which, I mean, it's kind of, yeah, I'm not naming after a viewer, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to skip this route. I'm going to come back for the Hoppip eventually, but first I am going to get that Spearow in Goldenrod. And I'll probably end this first. And it's a shame because I couldn't do the comment that's referencing the guy from DC Comics who has the power of just being addicted to cocaine. Oh, that is the best. DC has some really wacky superheroes and supervillains out there. Almost lost ZMX, that's bad, but I don't really have a good counter for H Son. I need that Wooper. I need the Wooper and maybe the Mareep. I need more Pokemon because I can't just beat this with my starter, even though he is very over leveled. And Machop I can handle. Okay. Okay, just kill you. Done, done, done. And I'm going to. I don't think there's any more encounters for town. Stop giving the 10-year-old your number, you creepy ass old man. Blah, blah, blah. I don't care about this shit. Let me go, let me go, let me go. I'm going into town to heal up my Pokemon. And that's where I'm going to end this today. And remember. Oh, I didn't even talk about, like, the reason I was thinking about video essays is like 5 minutes before I watched this, I watched one by, oh god, I forget his name. It was about how Law and Order is just the fucking worst. And man, that stuff's not good for my blood pressure. We truly do live in a society.